Hi everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap, and I'm going to be remaking one of my best soaps that gets most requested, and it's a peppermint soap. And I figure we're getting into the holiday season, we might as well start getting started on our gift baskets, etc. So today I'm going to be using Stardust Mica's Stardust Pearl, and I believe this is red strawberry. Yes, red strawberry. I'm going to be using a little bit of bio glitter. Our scent today will be from Crafter's Choice. It's a fragrance oil called Peppermint Candy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get these melted and we will get started. Okay, and we're back and our soap is melted. I'm going to go ahead and check the temp in just a second. We have a couple of house cleaning things to go over real quick. This is 153. 151, so they're at a really good spot. Whenever I get alcohol, I get a spray bottle, and I also love this flip top one. As a matter of fact, what I do is I refill this with 91%, although I'm almost to my 99%, and then I'll just scratch that out. I just like it because I can pour it in here like this very nicely. Because the other way of getting the alcohol into here is taking one of these and squirting it in, and then you're wafting fumes, which isn't, it's okay, but I don't like doing it. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mix our mica, and this is the red strawberry. So we did a video back from the Fresh Soap Company, Kim. She was in Breckenridge, Colorado, and she's offering everyone 20% off on her store. I'll leave a link below. And basically, you use the promo code Koala, and I believe it's the coupon is good through Christmas on all of her soaps and gift baskets. So if you're thinking about getting a gift for somebody, think about Kim. We'll keep it with the small crafters, right? So we will go ahead. I'm putting this, the pearl, the Stardust Pearl in my white, just because this is a holiday soap. I kind of want just a little bit of, you know, spunk in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add, and I already have a skin forming on this. And that's okay, because we're going to be doing the method where we're just going to put it into the silicone pan underneath here. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to put in our red strawberry into our glycerin because it'll be darker that way. I could have also done the neon pink. That would have worked too because that one stays dark. But as it is, since we're going to be adding a white on top, which you'll see in a second what I'm talking about, some of this is going to turn pink anyway. Okay, so we have this. And we will have this. And I am comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and put my peppermint into, I'm using about a pound here, so it's 5 ml per pound. This is a 3 ml syrup. I believe has a hole in it, but we're going to make it work. Covering up the hole. There we go. Make sure you get a extra pipettes in case that happens. So luckily we were able to cover up the hole and get that section going, and we'll throw that one away. I want to let Miss Jeanette H know that I'm fine. I had to do a project for my daughter which involved making tumblers. Believe it or not, I have another channel because I was making so many. And what's great is I can use my micas on them. I will link to that. No obligation. It's just something that's fun, and like I give my soaps to the nurses and the neighbors and family. I also give the tumblers to nurses because we don't drink enough fluid, and my daughter and her friends because they don't drink enough fluid. So I will link to my other channel, which is a new channel. I'll link it down below, and feel free to take a look at it. It's just more of an instructional thing. So Miss Jeanette, I'm fine. That's what's been going on, and I've missed you too, darling. Miss Tracy, I got your picture. She sent me a soap. She's a new soaper who just joined, and I wanted to print it out and show it to you, but I can't get my printer to work. I'm going to try and put it into maybe the community page on my YouTube channel, and eventually onto the website, which you guys know I've been working on forever. So what I'm going to do now is the glycerin is the one that actually sets faster than the opaque. I'm going to go ahead and that's shea butter, by the way. It's shea butter melt and pour, not to be confused with raw shea butter. So I'm just gonna pour this here, and we're gonna see if we can't keep it on one side, but it probably won't work that way. We wanna use all of our soap. There's several ways we can make this soap. This is just one of several videos I'm going to do because everyone has a different preference of how they want their soap to look. This is gonna have a whipped top, but it's gonna have a whipped top that is just a shea butter whipped top that you're just going to use and make it decorate it that way. And then I'm going to be making another video using Sharon's melt whip and pipe, and it'll probably be another holiday one, so that you guys can choose how you want to do that. Okay, so we're going to let this set a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour this on and around it, and I want them to harden before we put them in this mold. You'll notice I'm now using this mold, not the pink ones, because I noticed that what was happening, they were great, and they're great when you're starting, but when you're getting a little bit more, you know, better, these are a little bit more expensive by just about a few bucks. But it doesn't bow, and it's a bit sturdier. And if you remember on my other videos, I was getting about 3.5 bars. Now I only make small batches. So for those of you that make the larger batches, the longer loaves, this probably doesn't, you know, care about this unless you're doing a test batch. But this will do 4 equal 1-inch bars, which I love. So I'm sold on this one now. So again, all the links to everything I'm using are below. I'm going to be adding in a little bit of the bio glitter, and I'm not sure how I'm going to add it in yet. I was going to add it into here, and I thought, you know, I think I might just add it to the top of the soap. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is plant-based, not made from any plastic. We're going to, and if you're going to add it into one of these, you want to add it to your glycerin, and when your glycerin's a little bit cooler, because it's just going to sink to the bottom. So you want to keep stirring it. If you add it to an opaque, like shea butter or anything that's like this where you can't really see through, you're really not going to see the glitter. So you want to kind of do it into a glycerin type soap if you are going to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to let this set for a little bit. Then we're going to come back. We're going to add our white to it. Okay, we will be back. Okay. So one of the great things about using this technique is, first of all, you'll never know how it turns out, but it is a great technique for no waste at all. And what I mean is, what I did was I took the skin and I just kind of peeled it up off of here. I'm just going to put it into here. I'm just going to throw it in. This is pretty set now. And, you know, I just like the fact that we use all of it, and I'm really happy with that. If you start to develop a skin before you pour because you're not sure if this is dry enough, that's fine, because we're going to be rolling this up anyway. Just out of fun. We just don't want to pour it when it's too hot because it'll melt into the color. This is a holiday peppermint scented soap, so if it does, it's going to turn it a little pink, and that's okay. So just think about that when you do it, because it might not be so bad if you melt it a little bit in there. So let's go ahead and see what this is at. So this is at 119. So you don't have to, I still like to spray just a little bit with alcohol, only because I do want some of it to adhere. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to pour in these open spots first. And you can see there's skin going down in there. That's okay. It's not going to matter. You do want to spray this with alcohol afterwards and make sure you get the air bubbles out. And what I'm going to do with this is, as it dries in here a little bit more, I'm going to strip off this chopstick. I'm going to put it in there, skin and all, so it can all just be together. So we'll go ahead and squirt this down with some alcohol. We're going to wait for this to set, and then we'll go to our next step. I have a little bit more shea butter melt and pour here so that I can pour it on top of the soap once we place it into the mold. So that's where we're at now. Let's go ahead and let this set. Okay, so I believe this is ready to go. I have the skins from the shea butter here also, as you can see. So it's just a big old lump in here. We are going to go ahead. Okay. So what I want to do is I really don't want any rhyme or reason to this. You're just going to mash it up. You could do a confetti soap. I find this to be more fun. You never know how this design is going to turn out. I will be doing a holiday confetti soap, probably with this scent. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. And I'm going to be doing some more embed soaps. I know that a lot of people tend to like that. So we'll do those too. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of tear this up and mash it up. And then we'll put it into our mold here. Go ahead. I'm not going to put it into a ball this time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of mash it down. We're going to pour very warm melt and pour shea butter over it. So it's going to melt. You're going to see some pink undertones here. I just kind of wanted to do it more flat because I want to do a top on this. So hopefully I didn't make too much. But you know what? If I did, we have another project. So there you go. We're good. You can always melt this down and do something else with it. Actually, what I think I'm going to do, get a lot of pinks in here. We'll save our whites. I have an idea, you know me. Okay. Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll take a couple out, we'll save it. What we're going to do is I'm going to melt the shea butter. We're going to make it warm. I do want to put a top on this, and I haven't decided if I'm going to unmold it and then put the top on, or if I'm going to put the top on and then attempt to unmold it. Let me kind of figure that one out. Okay, so we're going to just make this a little flat. We're going to save all of this, and this will be a separate project. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this other shea butter that's on the side. Actually, what I might do is take out a little bit of this and add some of this into it, and that way I can salvage some of my other soap. So I'm going to go ahead and get this melted down, and then we'll be back. Okay, the first thing I did is I took all the extra pink And I'm just going to put it into this little mold here. We're going to use it later. I'm not sure. We'll probably use it for shavings in this soap for the top. And then, of course, when this dries, we'll use the skin in there. I'm going to put it here in case it drips. This one I'm waiting for it all to melt down. And you can see there's a little bit of a pink hue. And that's because there was a couple of this. That's okay, because this is going to melt anyway. It's going to turn a little pink once I pour this in. So this isn't completely melted yet, so we're going to let this melt and then we'll pour. Okay, so this is melted down. It is almost ready to go. I don't have my other glove on. Hold on. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm taking a skewer because I want to make sure that it gets into all the nooks and crannies. I'm just going to make some extra holes here. It should, but just in case. A skewer goes in much easier than the chopstick would. Okay, so this is at about 170, so it's pretty warm. So we're going to go ahead and start pouring it slowly, and I have some other here that I took out, and I can melt that down if I need to. And it looks like we will need to, so I'm going to take these, I'm going to melt them down, and we're going to add them into our mix. Okay, so we have our extra shea butter melted in. It's hot. This is at about 170, 175. I want it to melt in. And again, we're going to have a little bit extra. This we can use for the frosting part. I'm actually just going to put it over here on the side onto this next cavity. That way I can have a more accurate measurement later. I'm still going to, I don't have my other glove on, but I'm not going to touch anything in there. And we're still going to manipulate it on the bottom because we want to get all the air out. And you can kind of see the air bubbles coming in. I don't know if you can see them, but they are coming up. Just want to make sure. I'm going to use a skewer to kind of push these in a little bit more. We're going to spray it with alcohol. We're going to let this set. We'll be back. Okay, so the pounding on the door was Gavin letting me know he was home and he needed help with his bike. So yeah. Say hello, Gavin.
Hello.
Okay, so we're going to wait for this to dry.
So what are you making?
We're making peppermint soap. Can you smell it?
Smells good.
Okay, good. All right, we'll be back.
Bye.
Okay, everybody, we're back. I believe our soap is done. We got stuck doing homework and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skewer, the first thing, oops, and I'm going to actually make some little cross hatches here. And then what I do is I took our soap that we put in the mold, our leftover, and I took this zester here, zester grater, and I went ahead and I just gave us some little shavings here, and it smells like peppermint. It smells really good here. So that's basically what I did. I just have this little cup full of shavings. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to do the frosting that you can just use the shea butter for. So I have our old canister here with a little bit of extra in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the microwave, and we're just going to get it heated up and we're going to make it into some frosting. Okay, so we have this melted down. I'm going to get my gloves on. We're going to use the whisk attachment, and what's going to happen is this is currently at, we'll see here, 167. If you wanted to, you could add some more fragrance oil to this if you'd like, a couple drops. I really don't need to because the peppermint's pretty strong from what we did in here. I'm just going to leave it go. I have a little bit of distance from here to the top, and that's going to actually hold my frosting that we're going to do. I'm not going to whisk it in. I'm going to fold it in once it starts to get a little bit thicker. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to start whisking it. I'm going to try to put some music on for you so you don't have to hear this part of it. And then we're just going to check it periodically. It'll cool down fairly quickly, and then we have to be ready to pour. And don't forget to squirt your alcohol. Okay, we're at 115 and we have a little bit of a trace going on. So it's going to thicken up pretty fast, and then we're going to fold our sprinkles. Okay, there it is. So what we're going to do is we've just sprayed with alcohol, and we're going to try to distribute this. If I just put it in there and mix it, it would just turn pink. So we learned this the last time. So what I'm trying to do is just fold these in so that we have, oops, some nice sprinkles going on. And then we are going to put it into our soap. We're going to distribute it as nicely as we can. You may need to help it out a little bit. And this is how we would make our fluffy topping. And I wasn't sure if I was going to unmold and then just put this on top, and I kind of figured this would be good to do. This sets fairly quickly once it gets to a really cool stage. With this, you can do a couple of things. If you needed to make some more frosting, you could remelt it. It will never go back to the point where you could just melt and pour and it'd be a bar of soap. It's always going to have a very fluffy and airy consistency. So you could do that, or you could save it, and then what you would do is you would just add it into your brew next time you were going to melt down soap to make frosting, and then this will be just the same. It would turn out to be like this again. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it about an hour or so to set, and then we'll go ahead and cut it up. Oh wait, you know what we forgot? We forgot. Oh, I'm not going to do it with this on though. I'm going to take off. I will take off my gloves for this because I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to squirt the top with alcohol again. And I have just a little sifter here. I wanted to make sure we got our bio glitter on it. So, actually maybe I'll do it over here. No, I'll do it here. Sometimes it's just better to put your fingers in there and sprinkle it on. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. We will come back and we will cut it. Okay guys, I've unmolded it. It looks really cute. So there it is. Oh, that looks good. So now when you're going to cut into one of these with something that's somewhat of a high top, you're going to need to put it on its side. This, by the way, when you package it, it's going to stay like almost a marshmallow consistency. It's still a little wet, but that's me hitting it. So you can still package it in your saran wrap. I have a really good saran wrap listed below, because it doesn't, or not saran wrap, but shrink wrap, because it doesn't have an odor to it, which I found some of them did. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it sideways like this. We're going to try to keep it square. Let's see how it came out. Whoops. There it is. what I'm hitting here is just the top of this, so it's just in here. Oops, didn't go all the way through. Well, we can shape that down, but there you go. It smells so good. And I think my husband had this set at 0.75 inches, so he was putting these little nuts on there for me to make sure it wouldn't slide. So I'm actually going to come out with 5 slices because I didn't have it set at the 1 inch mark, but that's fine. They're little gifts. So we're going to have 1 for home and 4 for gifts. There you go. It smells really good and it looks really nice. Okay guys, don't forget to check out Fresh Soap Company. I'll leave a link below for your 20% off coupon. The word is Koala for Kim. Check out my other channel where I make tumblers with basically we use alcohol, we use micas, we use glitter, so kind of the same kind of thing. It takes a little longer to make though, fair warning. And we'll go ahead and we'll get these packaged up and we will see you for the next video. Thanks again.